Yo, sack that fool. Hit him, 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 hit him. Smash him up. Watch that move. Went too swift, can't catch these dudes. Can't hit him, 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 hit him. Listen, 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 hit him, listen. This Eagles talk. This talk Eagles. Philly bleed green. It's from your people. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's beat the squad. Big Pat Shelley, Untitled the dark job. Drop the stats on him. Drop the facts on him. Spur gang, baby. Let's get it on.
Hey, fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight. Welcome to another edition. Boy, it's like holiday season right now. We're just 6 days away from our Philadelphia Eagles gathering at the NovaCare Center to begin training camp for this upcoming season that we're so looking forward to. Like, I'm very excited about this taking place, even though it's bittersweet for me because I love football as much as I love football. I love the summer season, and when football season gets here, that means summer is over. So it's a little bittersweet, but I'm so excited right now that I'm just going to put that aside, and I'm pouring all my excitement into the fact that our Philadelphia Eagles will be taking the field, well, at least the practice field, in 6 days down at the NovaCare Center, man. I am so looking forward to it. You guys, I sent you guys the text, and could you hear the enthusiasm in my text? Let's go! Let's go! Our Philadelphia Eagles are about to be on that quest, man. I can't wait. I am so looking forward to it. Hey, what's up, guys?
What it do?
Yeah. They not excited. The people in the room are more excited than my co-hosts. They're meeting my attention. They're meeting my excitement.
Oh, we ready to go. We ready to go.
All
Matt
right,
got a fresh
okay.
cut. You see his edges.
Yes, I see it. I see it. That's what's up, Pat. Yeah, that's a fresh cut for training camp. I see it. All right, okay. You're excited. You're excited. You're watching. If you don't know, you're watching Eagles Talk, right? You're watching the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by us fans for us fans, and I'm glad that you guys are joining us tonight. If you don't know anything about the show, then let me tell you. Let me put down some ground rules right here. Like we like to talk about our favorite football team, and we like to do so while we enjoy our favorite adult beverage. Yes, we drink while we're talking about it. So join us responsibly. And as we do this conversation, as we talk about our favorite football team, this week I'm returning to my roots. I've been drinking a lot of clear and stuff like that, but I'm returning to my roots and I'm bringing back the old brown. I got the brown. So, Gentleman Jack, it will be for me. Still opening bottles from my birthday. This is still a bottle I got as a birthday gift in October.
Nice.
I've never had Gentleman Jack either, so I'm gonna see how this goes. You guys let me know what you are drinking out there, and if you have tried Gentleman Jack, let me know if this is a good thing or not. Pat is doing the what? What are you doing, Pat?
I'm back with the Jameson, man.
He's back with the Jameson, and Nichelle there is abstaining.
I'm off the sauce today. I've been on the sauce in the middle of the week. I was at the NAACP convention in AC for an event, then had a fundraiser last night. So I'm off the sauce. I gotta celebrate somebody's birthday. Happy birthday to AMJ coming up tomorrow. So I'm off the sauce tonight. I'm taking a little hiatus, but I'm back on tomorrow.
All right, that's what's up. We respect that. We respect that.
Yo, shout out to B Dizzle, man. He said,
B Dizzle, what he said?
You should be on the escrow box.
Who, me?
You so
You got the soul glow. All right, look. Everybody, raise your drinks in honor of our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and let's take it down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
Now listening to the first quarter.
So in the first quarter, we got a couple topics we're going to talk about this show. We're going to continue to speak about the position battles in this upcoming training camp. But I grabbed a topic right off of our Eagles Talk Facebook group page by one Sean Pinckney. Let me get it up here. And so we're gonna start off talking about this, and this will lead into our first position battle discussion. But he posts this right here. Sean Pinckney says, "This guy and you see the picture of Miles Sanders. For those that's only got the audio, you see the picture of Miles Sanders. Said this guy is hoping to get paid. Right now, he isn't a top 10 running back. How do you think they should handle his contract situation going into this season? And it sparked a lot of conversation, but I like to start off with that. What do you guys think? I mean, how should we handle him? You think he should be getting an extension this year? Sew him up. I mean, lock him up early. What are your thoughts on Booby coming into this year here? Starting with you, Nichelle. Ladies first.
I think Booby still has some things to prove. He is a little bit injury prone. As far as his contract, it definitely should be heavily incentive based on his performance. Because we have running back by committee right now, but at the same time, there's a level of inconsistency there. I love Miles Sanders, do not get me wrong, but I'm not sure how they're going to handle that contract moving forward. I would like to see him get through an entire season healthy.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure that's what the front office is looking for too. So as long as he continues to be injury prone, there's always going to be somebody at his neck for that position, whether it be Boston Scott or Gainwell. But they're so different. All of our running backs are so different and bring so many different elements to the table. So I'm okay with the three-headed monster and keeping that going, to be honest with you. Because I don't think he's proven that he could shoulder the load.
What do you think, Pat?
So, I think what's going to happen, and I totally agree with everything that Nichelle has just said. Basically, what you just said, Nichelle, is the same thing. My settlement's the same. What you just said. You can't make the club in the tub. Shellman will always say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot get a contract if you cannot stay healthy. That doesn't mean that we dislike you, Miles Sanders. We think you have the potential to be the number one back here in Philadelphia when healthy. You have shown us glimpses of what you can do. At one point, we thought you were Shady 2.0, but the injuries could take a superstar and knock him down to a bust quickly. Got to stay healthy in order to get that second contract. Now, what I think might happen is they may franchise tag him after this year just to work out another contract if he stays healthy. The health part is the big key to everything about Miles Sanders.
Franchise him. I think he's a long way from being franchised. I do agree with the fact that we thought he was Shady 2.0, and at some points he does flash that Shady 2.0, but when he's hurt, he's Shady 0.2. He's not even a whole person.
He's just shady.
Yeah, he's just shady when he's hurt. When he cannot stay on the field long enough to live up to his potential, which is great. I mean, he's shown us flashes of being a great running back, but again, you can't make the club in the tub.
And he got to score. Got to score.
So as he said, this guy is hoping for a big payday. Then we're both two hopeful motherfuckers, because I'm hoping he just stays healthy enough to stay on the damn field. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that he could just stay healthy enough. And
praying.
If he does, if he stays healthy and he actually earns a payday, that means we have a dynamic offense. We cannot deny the fact that when he's on the field and he's getting chunks of yards, 5 yards a pop, that bodes well for our offense. So if he actually earns a big payday, or what we consider a big payday, because historically we don't pay running backs a whole lot. No. But in this instance, if he is healthy enough, I think Howie will give him at least fair market value and try to lock him up. If he can stay healthy, let me see, what's the over under? If he can stay healthy if he could play the first 7 games, if he plays the first 7 games, I think Howie locks him up, because that's how he does. Howie like to lock you up before, like don't wait for him to play 17 games, because now you got to pay him more. So Howie jumps on it early. So if he plays about 7-8 games, Howie will probably try to lock him up real early and dangle that little carrot, like, dude, take this contract now. You don't know, you may get hurt in the last half of the season. And that's where he gets value. He does that. And that's where he gets value. But I have waited long enough. Let me get the people in the room involved in this show. This is a Eagles fan base show, and you guys are like our fourth co-host. So we like to include you guys in the conversation. So let me go right back up here and announce the first person in the room tonight, which was B Dizzle. He said, "Yo, I'm on time. Fly Eagles fly." Yes, you were. And the person that's given us our first topic of the night, Sean Pinckney, is second. He says, "Let's go, Sean." Sure. Tony Burren, our resident from down under. Yo, Bird fam, is it footy season yet? It's almost 6 days away from training camp, Tony. Michael is next in the room. He says, "Go Birds." And then Jeremiah says, ready for Eagles football. Bill Crow just had a birthday this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, happy birthday,
happy
Bill.
belated birthday,
Panther
Bill.
season full-fledged.
I meant to send you a snake down. All right, we got a little running joke. All right, so some of the current conversation going on is Sean responding to the Miles Sanders comment. He says, give him a 1-year prove-it deal. Or he agrees with Nichelle, or an incentive-laced deal.
For sure.
Bill says health is key to all positions, no doubt. Donovan Brandon says, and he fumbles a lot too. Yeah, and what happened to his pass catching skills that was so prominent in his rookie season? Like
they
he
fell
caught
off
everything, and he has regressed since that rookie season in catching the ball. I like to see that return because Gainwell is a pass-catching running back, and I think he's going to have a more prominent role in this offense this year. I don't know. We're going to get into the running back position battles right after this. Sean, BJ says they're going to value Hargrave, as they should. Hargrave he probably needs to be extended. One above all, watching us on YouTube, he says Miles ain't going to be here next year. Y'all bugging. Wow, you think so? Wow, that would be a shock. I mean, especially if he plays a majority of these games this year, and especially if he stays healthy for a full year. I can't see how he will not be here. He said he's getting his lunch taken by Gainwell. I agree that Gainwell is going to be moving up the ladder a lot this year. He showed flashes last year. He can catch. He's like a wide receiver in a little running back's body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
I said they're coming at his neck. I said if he doesn't stay healthy, he has other backs in that whole core group that are going to be right at his neck for the job. Period.
And who is most likely to emerge? Let's say if he follows his current pattern of the past few years, let's say who emerges as our featured back or the most prominent back, the most productive back if he falls off.
Well, I mean, if you go by sheer numbers of who did what last year, I mean, you only got 2 other running backs that actually has professional experience that has success so far in Boston Scott and Gainwell. Jason Huntley, he has the speed, but he hasn't had the success in the NFL as yet in our system yet. So, I mean, it's still his job to lose.
It is.
It's still his job to lose because I'm not going to say anything bad about Boston Scott because it seems like every time you put Boston Scott in, he gives you those crucial yards that you need. He's a smaller running back. You don't want to leave him on the field for a very long time and get his body beat down because he is a smaller running back. And the same thing with Gainwell. Gainwell is a slot receiver who so happily he's a small guy, compact running back that can play in the slot. So, I mean, this offense is predicated on multiple running backs. We got this kid, Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma. He's going to be a bruiser running back. He can make the team. You can have 4 running backs on the opening day roster. But you know what? If Miles has to stay healthy in order to take that number 1 position, if he doesn't take that number 1 position, then it's going to Gainwell. It's going to Boston Scott. It's going to Jason Huntley. It's going to Kenneth Brooks. These guys are going to take these positions.
Well, that is the end of the first quarter. I agree with what Pat's saying, but let's end this first quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
I like to continue the conversation on Miles and then
I have a couple of things I wanted to add to what Pat was saying when we do.
All right. Okay. So this is the end of the first quarter. You're watching Eagles Talk, listening to Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show around that's by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about the Eagles, not anybody else. That's why we call it Eagles Talk. But we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and we do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage. We socialize here. We socialize and we talk about football at the same time. So, like I said, I'm returning to my roots here, the Gentleman Jack, and the first shot was real smooth. I've never had this, and I enjoyed that first shot. I'm a sipper, by right with the brown anyway. I like to sip on my brown. Especially with a good cigar.
Yeah.
So I'll have to evaluate this at a later date. I'm doing shots. So it's going down real quick. It's going past my palate real fast. I can't really analyze it. But anyway, it's smooth. And Pat is doing the Jameson Irish whiskey. And Nichelle is refraining. She is in training for tomorrow night. That's what she's in. She's taking a layoff so she can go hard tomorrow night. And I get it. But you guys, you don't have to take it easy. Drink responsibly, but join us. So here we go. Down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
So go on, Nichelle. You want to expound on what Pat was saying about Booby there?
Well, you had mentioned prior to Pat giving his breakdown, if it wasn't Miles, who were the next two up, which was Scott and Gainwell, but they give us, again, such different looks. Scott is a hell of a downhill back. Like, he's like a bowling ball. He gives us that spark. If you look at certain games during the season, sometimes he was a spark and a catalyst to getting those hard-fought yards. But Gainwell has that versatility of being a threat as a receiver and as a running back. Don't give Gainwell open field. He's going to take his shots when he can. So I think it's a toss up, between the two. Our backs are so different. Again, I like the idea of having running backs cut by committee because they get beat up so much in the trenches as a position. So I think it's always good to have 2 or 3 backs that can easily, take the mantle of starter any given Sunday.
All right. Yeah. I don't know if anybody agrees with me here, but I think that Booby is the best running back by far.
Overall, yes. Skill-wise.
Overall, yeah. The whole package, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's the best running back overall. And we've been talking about it so far this show here. If he stays healthy, we don't have a better option than him at running back. A healthy him is the best running back we have. A healthy Sanders, I believe, is the best running back we have, especially if he returns to the pass-catching form of his rookie year. But running the ball, I mean, the numbers don't lie. Oh, he's averaging over 4, almost 5 yards a carry. Mm-hmm. He's already in one of the top yards per carry running back in the history of the game with the amount of carries that he has already. I mean, that may change over time, but right now, this guy eats up yards when he is healthy and he plays consistently. So I don't know if any of the backs behind him can match his production when he's healthy.
We may have a sleeper. In the stable.
Pat.
Kennedy Brooks, he almost rushed for 100 touchdowns at Oklahoma. He had 7,600 rushing yards in his entire career at Oklahoma. Who's a passing offense, all right? He's 5'11", 213-pound, bruising and pull-away running back that has the ability to be a number 1 running back. Why he didn't get drafted? Yeah, because he ran a 4.59. I mean, for his skill set and what he did at that level of football, you should be in the 4.4s. He would definitely got drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round. But running a 4.5, basically a 4.6, knocked him out the draft. We got him for still as an undrafted rookie free agent. Don't be surprised if this guy actually pushes for some actual time. Make the team his first year. And one of these guys we're talking about, like Jason Huntley, Miles Sanders, Gainwell, Boston Scott. One of these guys may be a casualty of him playing and performing to a level that we never thought he could perform at in this first year.
And I respect.
Can we put them over in special teams though?
Oh yeah,
They don't all have to be casualties. Like, come on now, we got some holes on special teams. We can't even field the ball.
I respect your scouting prowess, Pat, but you're talking about something that we hope can happen. I'm talking about a guy, when healthy, that we have seen done it on this level. On this level in the NFL, we're hoping that the guy you're talking about can make that transition, can take that step up to the pro level and do that. You've seen him do miraculous or great things in college, but we've seen Miles do great things in the pros. So that's why I'm tagging him, or I'm talking about him in the way that I'm talking about it. I've seen him do that. That almost 5 yards a carry is his NFL career, not his college career. When he's healthy, when he plays in games, this is what he does. So until this guy can step up and prove otherwise, Booby is that guy. But let me go to some comments here. Robert Lee has a long comment here, so you're not going to see us if you're watching us on Facebook once I put this comment up. But let me read it here. All right. Okay, look, y'all. He's only missed 8 games in 3 seasons. Over 2,400 yards, 9 TDs, running under 2 head coaches in Peterson and Sirianni, where their game plans were heavy on the pass game. I'll correct you there. Sirianni's game was heavy on the run half of the last year. But Nichelle, I normally get agitated with the injury-prone label, but you're right. Although it's not his fault he gets hurt, he can't avoid that, being he's more of a banger through the O-line. I like the coaches to get him the rock more with smart, planned-out goal line work. Other than that, I am enjoying. All right, thank you, Robert, for chiming in.
That's what I mean about being a banger through the O-line. You can get injured more. So that's why you need other backs that could come in and step up if he's continually going to bang through the O-line like he does.
Listen,
well, can Scott fill that role? I mean, Scott is a solid back, like Rodney says.
Well, you look at it like Darian Sproles.
I would let Scott
small,
bang
but he's
through the
built
O-line
like
just to
fire
preserve
line.
Miles for some of those bigger chunks. I would let him take more of the beating.
Correct. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott's more like in the mode of a Darren Sproles. They have the same body type. You look at them, they look almost identical, even though Darren Sproles may look a little thicker in the legs. They look identical. So he can be an everyday down back, but I am in a camp for Miles Sanders to be our starting running back. I do want him to be our starting running back. I know that the injury prone thing, we take it out of proportion, and we talk about him not being on the field many times. It's only been a handful of games, but he hasn't got more than 800 yards in a season. He's only been 3 seasons, but at the same time, you got to be able to punch it in the red zone. And 9 touchdowns over 3 seasons is not something to brag about at that position.
That part. Red zone efficiency is key. If he's going to be the premier back, he has to finish strong in the red zone.
Well, here's a comment from somebody whose name seems to appropriately fit our program.
Right.
And there's Drunk. And Drunk is here. And Drunk said, I got into a fight today about whether we should build around Jalen Hurts. All right, we're not going to start that talk yet. Yeah, but you get one of our.
It's played at this point. That's the dead horse that people have been beating since it's July. I don't know. We've been beating this horse for like 10 months. And the conversation hasn't changed. So until the conversation changes, what more can we say?
Well, not in the beat up on him or come down, because that's not what we do. We love Jalen Hurts here. But he is going to be the subject of much discussion in this training camp, as he should be in the.
But have you seen his workout? He's a whole different body now.
Yes, I agree.
He's a whole different body now. He's a grown man now. So we'll see how that works.
Grown man.
They wrote a whole article about him and Lane Johnson and how they're this team is in some of the best shape it's been in years in terms of physically, from the quarterback on down.
And they will remain in that shape because we don't play football in the preseason. We just get to see the guys run around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they don't. This is the new NFL, or at least the new Eagles. They don't play football in the preseason here. We just get to see them run around in the shorts and in their pads, shoulder pads. But hitting, I think they reserve that for the regular season. I don't like it, but I cannot argue with the results that it produced last year, which was one of our healthiest seasons in quite a few years. So as much as I don't agree with it, I don't think they'll be changing it anytime soon because this team was healthy last year, even though they got off to a slow start. And me personally, I attribute it to not hitting in training camp like you should because, and I didn't play football. Pat, you'll have to back me up on this. When you play football, do you need to be hit in preseason to get ready for the season?
Yes.
That's what I'm assuming. I'm thinking you need that physical contact to get your body accustomed and ready for the rigors of the regular season. So I'm not totally on board, but I can't argue with the results.
All right, it's just like you play basketball, right, Dante? Right? The more you jump, the better, the stronger the ankles get, the more you can make those cuts on the basketball court. If you don't do that stuff during training camp and during preseason ball, when you get in the season, you make a cut that you haven't done in such a long time, what's going to happen? You're going to roll your ankle, you're going to have weak ankles. So the same thing about football. You do need to get hit to get used to the everyday pounding of football. I mean, I've never played on a pro level, so I can't answer to any questions about that. But when it comes to football players know you need to get hit in order to be ready to go.
You need to at least get the first one out the way.
Right.
You got to get more than the first one. Trust me.
You know what I mean. You need to get it out the way. But also, you still
get you going, but you got to get like a couple more.
Yeah. I mean, but you also play defense, so you want to hit.
Come on, I was small.
And Shell and your brother definitely want to hit. Oh my goodness!
Right.
Oh my goodness, linebacker. I
didn't want to hit until I started playing with Shell. Truthfully.
Yeah,
I didn't want to hit until I started playing with Shell because he started talking.
And Shell is not an aggressive guy by nature, but I came to one of his football games and I had to ask who that guy was. I say, who's that guy? Who that number right there? They was like, that's Shell. I said, no. He was a monster out there. He was like Seth out there with the nastiness and all that. I was like, who that guy?
Simmer down. You remember I played with him. I tipped the ball to him.
I don't think so.
Tipped the ball. No, I tipped the ball to Shellman, right? He got the interception. I'm 10 yards upfield. We were next to each other. I'm 10 yards up the field about to block for him. He's in the same position running in play.
I'm not talking about that. He has no speed. Now, he's not a fast guy at all. But I was just talking about his enthusiasm and how he changed. Like it's like a switch. Like he was Brian Dawkins out there. Like he changed. He wasn't mild. I only knew my cousin as a mild banner guy. And he's on the field like ready to bite people's head off, and I'm like, "Who's that guy?" Like that Shell. It's
a transformation when you're on that field. Your regular personality is not there. You literally have to be somebody else.
And he definitely was. But let me get to some comments before we start the third quarter. Quavo, long time no see, Quavo, but he said, "I want to drink with my boy Drunk." He wants to drink with Drunk. With a name like Drunk, yeah, he seems like a party guy, right? I would like to hang out with Drunk too. Adam says, I don't know about y'all, all this talk getting me hyped up for the start of the season. I've already been hyped, Adam.
I'm ready.
You should have seen the opening. I'm ready, and I love summer. And I know that when football comes, summer is over, and I'm still excited and still anxious to see what our football team, to see them on the field, to see them in action. I'm not, because I just explained how our training camps go. They're just walkthroughs compared to the days of old with Andy Reid, Buddy Ryan, Dick Vermeil even. They're nothing like that. I mean, they get ice cream and stuff like that, now. But, before there used to be 3-a-days, grueling practices, hitting going on, and that doesn't happen too much. But I can't argue with the results because this team has been the healthiest it has been in the last few years, last year under this type of regime. So they're going to continue it. But I am hyped to see this football season begin and this training camp begin. I just want to see the team on the field. So with that being said, that was the end of the second quarter. Did you play the drop?
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you are listening to Watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show out there that's by us Eagles fans for us Eagles fans. No professional broadcast journalists or anything like that. It's just us. We're no different than you guys. We're sitting around, we're busting up, we're talking about our favorite football team, and we're including you guys in the conversation. So continue to put your comments up there, and you may see them on the screen. We do so, we like to talk about them. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. I told you I have returned to my roots. I've been drinking clear alcohol for the past probably month or two, right? So now I'm returning to my roots. The brown, I got the brown here and the Gentleman Jack in my hand. I'm going to be doing a little shot. I'm not going to do a whole shot. All right, a little shot of this. And Pat is doing the Jameson. And you guys let me know what you're doing out there. But whatever you're doing, make sure you do it responsibly. Okay, so here we are. As we begin the third quarter, everybody raise your cup to our Philadelphia Eagles and down the hatch, 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the third quarter.
So we talked about Booby. Let's go a little deeper into that running back position battle that's going to be taking place next week. So Pat, run down the lineup. Who are the running backs out there? And then we'll talk about it.
It's Jason Huntley, Kenny Brooks, who's the rookie undrafted free agent, Kenny Gainwell, Boston Scott, Miles Sanders. That's all we have.
All right. How many running backs do you foresee us keeping? How many did we keep last year?
We kept 3. I think it was Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and Kenny Gainwell. Jason Huntley was actually cut and he was put on the practice squad, and he actually came back during, I think it was like the third game of the season, something like that.
They pulled him up.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think we're going to go back with the 3 running backs thing. I want to be shocked if we went with 4 running backs this year, because like I said before, the Kennedy Brooks may be a shocker. I know I saw a comment about him running 4.6 is disgusting, but a football on a football field, there are people that run 4.7, but when you get them on a football field, they run a 4.2. Football speed, track speed are 2 different things.
Very much
so. When you factor in that this person has been playing this sport with pads on and running at this, speed all his life, a 4.5 is not terribly bad. It's not terribly great, but for a running back of his size and what he does and what he brings to the table as an undrafted rookie free agent, I believe he's going to try to ball out. So I wouldn't be shocked if we went with 4 running backs. Now, with that being said, I think we're just going to go with our normal 3, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and Kenny Gainwell. I think this is going to be what we're going to start off the season with, and probably move from that later down the road and add in another running back if we don't trade for another running back before the season starts.
Now, are we sure that we only went with 3 running backs? Because I'm thinking that if we do carry more than 3, one of them can be a return specialist or a special teamer.
Well, we got 2 return specialists.
Those 3 are not returning kicks or punts, right? We've never seen Gainwell or Boston Scott or Miles do any returning. So,
I believe all 3 of them have done return. All 3 of them have done returners in the NFL. They have been returners in the NFL in a punt return game or in the kick game. All 3 of them have been at one point in one time.
Is it possible that we keep those 3? I mean, they seem like the top 3 candidates to occupy the top 3 running back spots: Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and Kenny Gainwell. Could there be a possible fourth that we keep on the roster just for return duty, special team duties?
Britton Covey or Devin Allen. You know, they're the probably going to be return specialists for us. They're going to be battling out maybe for just one spot. Devin Allen is the speedster who's breaking all the records for the hurdles, the 110 hurdles, stuff.
But he's
of that
not a
nature.
running back though.
He's not a
I'm
running
talking
back,
specifically running
but
back.
he gave a running back number.
Oh, they gave him a running back.
Well,
Well,
the
the numbers mean nothing now. They're not doing that.
I know.
They're doing that.
Britton Covey is a slot receiver, but at the same time, you can put him in the backfield because he does so much. He's a smaller type guy. I think he's 5'8", but he's really shifty, really quick. He fits what Gainwell did in college because Gainwell was a multi-dimension type player on offense. Not only did he play slot receiver, he was a running back. Covey does the same thing. He returns punts, kicks. He goes in the backfield. He goes in the slot. He could be the de facto guy that does, pretty much everything that's needed for the team to make the team. If Devin Allen's not running for the Olympics, he's going to be the fastest guy on the football field. And that's saying a lot with Quez Watkins out there.
All right, Nichelle, the running back position battle here, how do you see it shaking out? And we already have the top 3 running backs who we think are going to make the squad. What's some of the battles or somebody you have your eye on going into training camp?
I really want to see how they utilize Gainwell, to be honest with you, since we have all these receivers. Is it, and I also want to get into the tight ends after this, but since we have this quote unquote bomb receiver core right now, how are we going to still run some of these plays where we were getting our backs involved with the hands? And are those hands going to, determine who is going to stay in the rotation? I'd like to see how are we going to switch up the running back game? Are we going to get them more involved in the passing game? That's going to really make a difference in terms of this quote unquote position battle with the running backs, is how Sirianni and Steichen, right? Am I getting the OC right?
Steichen, yeah.
how they run this offense this year is going to tell the tale.
What would you like to see him do? No, not what you. No. Let me rephrase that. Not what do you think they're going to do? What do you anticipate that this office is going to look like?
These Similac coaches, I don't even know.
Come on, man. They got 1 year under their belt.
All right,
they got
a year under their belt, but I still don't think they've found their identity as a coaching staff yet. And I still think they're working that out. So some of that is really up in the air, to be honest with you. I mean, we didn't run the ball till the second half of the season. And then even during the second half of the season, we had some games where we totally went away from the run that was working for us. So I don't know.
Well, we've already established the fact that Steichen was calling the plays during that stretch when we went 7-3. Those play calling duties have been handed over to him. So he starts off the season as the play caller. Do you anticipate that we'll get off to a faster start than what happened last year? Because last year, Sirianni started off, wasn't that great, tried to incorporate a lot of passing, and clearly, even coming out of training camp, our strength was running the ball. Steichen got in the play calling seat, and he went right to running the ball. So do you think we come out of the gate a little faster than what we did last year? And do you think we are what do you think benefits us more, being a run heavy team or getting more involved in the passing game? Because our passing game sucked last year. We were like 25th or something like that.
No, I think we need a balance. I want to see 50-50. I don't want to see us be in balance at any space when it comes to our offense, because we have the ability to be balanced. If we let our running game open up our passing game, and now we have threats like AJ Brown, that's going to open up the entire playbook for us. But I think the weak spot of the coaches is finding that balance between run and pass. I don't think it should be either heavy on the run or either heavy on the pass. I think we have the right pieces in place that they shouldn't know what's coming at them at any given time, whether it's a run or a pass play. I would like to see more things disguised. I would like to see more creative plays where we think it's a run, but it ends up being a pass. I just want the coaches to really dig in their bag and use the talent that they have on both the passing game and the running game and give us something that isn't so vanilla like we got last year.
I 100% agree with you. I don't have to say anything else.
Dig in the crates, y'all. Dig in the crates. Like, show us something we haven't seen before. Something.
Listen, we're begging for it as a fan base. We're begging for us to see something totally different. Like, truthfully, we're tired of the RPO. We're tired of the RPO. Let's be honest.
God, yes.
We're tired of the RPO. Yo, if you're going to run an RPO, you might as well go to the Nebraska offense of 1996, 97, and go to the option, too. You might as well go to that, the triple option. You might as well just change up the whole offense to incorporate that in the offense if you're going to continue with this. Because what's going to happen is, just like Ray Lewis said, if I played this game today, I would tell my defensive end to stay outside. I would tattoo the quarterback. And what they start doing in Tampa Bay, right? When we start running the RPO, they did that. The linebacker would twist outside, the DN would hit the quarterback, and the linebacker would take the running back, or they would switch it up. It's not rocket science. For at least 20% of the first quarter plays, our offensive coordinator is always going to be ahead of the defensive coordinator. Once the defensive coordinator gets what they are doing, the defense catches up. We've been running RPOs in this league legitly since 2016, right? We made it more popular than ever in 2017. This gave more than enough time for these defensive coordinators around this league to get familiar with what's going on. These players can get the eyes become better, then they will be better at defending this RPO. We need to be unpredictable.
That's that part. Pat. That part.
Jeremiah says, Pat, stop giving them ideas. You're tipping off the opposing. All the Eagles opposing the opponents are watching us now, and you're tipping our hand to them.
It's not rocket science.
Stop it.
It's not. It's not.
All right, that's the end of the third quarter. We are going to talk about the tight end position battle in this fourth quarter, but thank you guys. I'm going to end off the quarter. Let me put a couple comments up here. Quavo says they're calling Jalen Noodle Arm. I feel like he's going to surprise the haters. As always, Nichelle makes a great point. The play action going to be dangerous if we run it properly. 50-50 is the move this season. And I think that's the move also. Sean says, we left 1,500 points out there last year by not scoring in the red zone.
Right?
1,500. Dang, that's a lot. Glenn D. Lee says, our quarterback is an RPO guy. The coach's hands are tied, bro. D. Lee. All right, Patrick. Isaac Seamalu or Jack Driscoll? Somebody. Oh.
I was asking a question.
I thought someone was asking you that. Okay.
No, I was answering BJ Mitchell. He's asking the right guard position because the left guard position is locked up with Landon Dickerson. The right guard position is wide open, and those are the guys fighting for it. So,
all right, let's end the third quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you are watching and listening to Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show out there that's by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about the Eagles, and specifically we like to talk about this upcoming training camp in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage. I'm out. I'm tapping out. I'm not doing the shot. I'm done. Okay, so I was doing the Gentleman Jack, and it was smooth. And I'll give you a review on it when I sip on it, because I can't really savor it when I'm doing shots of it. And Pat is doing the Jameson, and the show's doing
this third quarter.
This the fourth quarter. See,
right.
That's why I'm tapped
Dunkin',
out. You don't even know what quarter.
Brown sugar.
All right, so but anyway, Pat is doing the Jameson, and Nichelle she's saving herself for the right one tomorrow. She's saving herself tomorrow. All right, so
telling all my business. Telling all my
everybody, raise your drink to our Philadelphia Eagles. Down the hatch we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh. I'm like, hold up. Sean Pinckney is like, man up, Dante. I'm like Marty in Back to the Future when you couldn't call him a chicken. All right, you can't call me a chicken.
Going to play.
All right, okay.
There we go.
All right, so we start the fourth quarter yet?
Yes, we did.
All right, okay. So let's get to Nichelle's position battle that she is so looking forward to, and that is the tight end position battle. Let me just throw out there before we even start this. JJ, I think Whiteside is not going to make the team. Okay, all right. So that being said, what do you guys want to talk about with the tight end position battles? What are some of the battles that you see being the most significant at the tight end position? We already know
JJ,
Goddard is going to make
one battle. There's one battle. There's
ahead.
only one battle for TE number 2. Because Goddard led the league in yards per target last year, above Kittle, above Pitts, above Gronk, above everybody. So we already know he's our number 1 tight end. He's a beast at blocking. He's Ertz 2.0. Ertz groomed him well. He left us in good hands. So that's done and over. But the other battle is who's gonna be on the opposite side of him? And with all of our quote unquote new additions in the wide receiver core, are there going to be less opportunities for our tight ends? That's something else we have to consider. Or are they going to get them more involved to give new looks? Are the coaching staff going to be a lot less vanilla with the passing game, with the receivers and the tight ends together? So you have Jack Stoll, who didn't really get a lot of catches. We have Tyree Jackson, right? Who went from quarterback, and he's size wise, he's 6'7". He's like 6'7", 250. So you have Tyree Jackson, who has switched over from tight end to quarterback, that could possibly be in contention, but another one who has suffered from injuries as well. Who did we draft, Pat? Carter.
Oh, I got you. Grant Carcatera.
Yeah.
Grant
Calcaterra.
I'm not gonna say it. I can't say it. I had 4 shots on me. Come on.
I got you. We got Grant Calcaterra. who we made, and you're right, Dante.
Is this going to be a battle?
It's going to be a battle for that number 2 spot. I mean,
but you know what?
I would like to see Jackson come out on top just because his size alone is so intimidating.
He's going to be on PUP. He's still recovering from the ACL, so he's going to be on PUP. Yep. He's still a project. He's a raw project. If you want to compare him to any other tight end that came into this league, you compare him to Logan Thomas, who made that transition from quarterback to tight end for the Washington No Name or Commanders, or whatever their name is now. And he's showing production, but being injured, we talked about this earlier in the show. You can't be injured and make the club,
Can't be in the tub and make the club.
A name I want y'all to think about. His name is Noah Togiala. Togial. I'm definitely saying his name wrong. He was with us two years ago. They wanted to keep him here as the 3rd or 4th tight end. They thought by releasing him, they could bring him back to the practice squad. Such was not the case. The Colts actually picked him up, and he's been playing for the Colts ever since last year when the Colts released him, and we picked him back up. He may fight in position. He might fight Jack Stroll, Grant Cartier, these guys for that 3rd or 2nd position, because he has the experience in the NFL already of a blocker and a pass catcher. So it's going to be a very interesting camp for the tight end position.
Yeah, and don't forget Richard Rodgers, who's been on and off practice squad. So I know.
But he always comes through. Yeah. Richard Rodgers always comes through when we need him.
Since 2018, he's been around.
Yeah.
So he caught those Hail Marys from A-Rod.
Let me ask you guys this. So how many tight ends do we carry? 3. How many did we keep last year? 3?
3.
Okay, so who are those 3? that you see
I'm
from
gonna let you go
the
to the show.
who do
Well,
you see to
obviously
be in
it's
those three?
Goddard. It's really who's the other two that we carry besides Goddard.
You guys let me know out there. I don't mean to cut you off in the show, but you guys let me know who are the 3 tight ends that you foresee the Eagles carrying into the regular season on the 53-man roster.
I
But
think
go ahead, Michelle.
Jackson and maybe the rookie. I think. I'm not sure about Richard Rodgers. I think they might put him back on a practice squad, but I think they might want to try out some young blood in Calcaterra. Um, and I know we picked up the other young
Grant.
buck from the Colts, but I think I would like to see if Jackson can make a leap this year. So
See, I would totally agree with you, but I mean, from the understanding that he's still rehabbing from the
I know.
ACL,
I know he's a
it kind of
project. He's a
sucks. It kind of
project.
sucks because it is a project, and he was shown some good things, especially in training camp last year. They were talking about how nobody could guard him until you went up and caught a pass and came down with his back row. Like at 6'7", there were only a few people in on defense that can cover you.
That part.
Literally,
So I hope
there
they
is only a
make
few
a way
people
to
that can
keep
cover
him.
you.
It'll probably be
Uh,
Stoll. It'll probably be Stoll
It's
and
probably be Stowe and Grant. It's probably be
yeah.
those
Hopefully
two.
Stoll will get some more looks
Mm.
because I think he only had 4 targets or something like.
Yeah, a few. But he comes from Nebraska, so Nebraska they breed out these tight ends that block a lot, that do a lot of other things. Being 6'4", because we're normally used to like a Brent Selleck or a tight end at 6'5" or 6'6", somewhere in that range. These tight ends are around that Trey Burton height that we say it's a small tight end. He's a tweener, 6'3", 6'4". All the tight ends except Dallas Goedert, who has to catch the easy pass. All right, stop dropping
That's
the
true.
easy pass.
He had a little bit of the dropsies and
Yes.
even though everybody wanted to say, "Oh, Hurts didn't get on the ball right," we had a lot of drop passes last season.
Yeah.
And I would love for the coaches to address that. I love that everybody's getting big and strong, but
that I agree
that
with
means
that right
nothing
there.
when you're dropping the passes that were right there in their hands. Some of their routes were suspect last year too, but that still goes back to the coaches and their schemes that they're running.
I agree with one above all.
I agree with one
with
above there. I put his comment on the screen. He says Goddard, Grant, and Stoll. At least to start the 53-man roster. We all love Jackson.
Changing
and I
his
think
name,
Jackson,
or was that what it was before? I'm
yeah,
getting
no,
the
that's not
YouTube people
drunk. That's not drunk.
confused. Okay.
No, yeah, drunk is a different person. But
Okay.
and he
Wrong
says
person.
that Jackson will be on the PUP. I agree with that. I don't think Jackson gets cut because he was phenomenal last year as a converted quarterback. Jackson, he showed up. He showed up in the preseason. He made a lot of tough catches. He showed that he had the speed and he had the ability to get open. And like we talk about Dallas being the number 1 tight end, but what's his biggest weakness? He's dropping easy catches. Jackson was catching a lot of passes and in traffic, and that's impressive for a converted quarterback. So I don't think they're going to give up on him. They'll stash him
Because
on
he
the
knows
PUP.
what it means to drop that ball and how that
Right.
makes his quarterback look.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was on the other side of that ball.
We saw another converted quarterback, Ward, make a name for himself, or work his way into a roster spot.
Well, that's that Randall Antoine L type thing.
Right.
If you go back to the Randall type L type quarterback in college, where they were outstanding quarterbacks in college because of their size, they came in the NFL to play receiver and become outstanding guys. It happens both ways.
It's Calcaterra, Rodney. Y'all stop disrespecting this man's name.
It's JJ. Wow. And look, all right. So
JJ,
I jokingly
J-Dog
said,
is not in this conversation. He's somewhere.
Do you think so? Really? I mean, I don't think so either. But what is the chance that J-Jaw has a legitimate shot at making it?
They might keep him. That's a 50-50 shot. He might.
No,
he might.
I don't think it's 50-50. I don't think it's 50-50. I think
I don't trust the Eagles. I don't trust them.
I think the Eagles told him. I said, listen, JJ, we're probably not going to keep you. definitely at wide receiver.
Definitely
you can try
wasn't making wide receiver.
Definitely not a wide receiver
because that is a competition. That second wide and third wide receiver is going to be a competition. If you can outperform these guys that we bring in, we'll give you a shot. If you can't, we gotta let you know. Go. It's a business decision. The pros is business. You gotta understand the business side of it. You was a second round draft pick. You went before DK Metcalf.
Hold up. Sean Pinkney says Whiteside will be working at Wawa by week 8. He may be working at Wawa by week 1 if he doesn't make the team. Oh man.
He got some money, man. He saved up.
Yeah, he shouldn't be working at Wawa. He should be managing Wawa. He won't be a worker, but he can be a manager, though. He can be a manager.
He can block, though. He definitely can block, though. I give that to him.
That boy can block, though.
Yeah.
His ass can't catch, but he can block. You can't. I'm sorry. They only pay offensive linemen millions of dollars to block. We can't pay a wide receiver, a drafted wide receiver to block. That can't be your most prominent skill is blocking as a wide receiver. I'm sorry. So all. I don't think JJ is going to make it. I'm rooting for him. I'm not rooting against anybody except for Rager, but anybody. I'm not rooting against anybody, but
I'm actually rooting for Rager. Do something.
No, Rager, oh man. We'll talk about the wide receiver battle once camp starts, and that will be next week. That was the end of the fourth quarter, man. We thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging in with us. And you guys are just anticipating training camp just as much as I am. It's coming up in 6 days. The next time we come on air, our football team will have assembled at the NovaCare Center, and we'll have maybe not a lot to talk about, but we'll at least be happy to see them in the building. So, guys, man, join us next week at 7 o'clock when our Philadelphia Eagles will have begun training camp. We'll be right here, and we'll talk about it on Eagles Talk. I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight. For my co-host with the co-hosts, Nichelle and Pat, we'll see you guys next week. We're out. Peace.